to Inside the Seller Studio with Part-Time Okie Picker. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm John.
Today we're going to continue our top 5 things we wish we had known before we started selling on eBay or right when we started selling on eBay. And we're going to start with the topic of what to sell, which is always such a scary topic when you first start thinking about things. A lot of resellers have recommendations for brands to look for. We did it too when we first started. We watched and we went out to Goodwill and we bought up all the brands that they recommended. But one thing that they don't say is when thousands of people are watching these videos and looking for the same brands, everyone has to start competing to be the lowest price to get it to sell because they don't want to sit on it. So the price ultimately tanks and you're not making any money off of it. So I would not follow that lead.
Not for everything, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not clothing.
Not for the common brands. You know, we all ran to the store and bought Tommy Bahama or Orvis or I can't even think of other brands that we just don't even look at anymore. Polo, LL Bean. There are exclusions or unique items for each of those brands that you can buy, but to buy everything right when you start, you're just going to get a bunch of clothing and you're going to realize you hate selling clothing. What I would suggest to start out selling, what to sell, is things that interest you. Don't become just a seller of one particular thing. Sell lots of things, lots of variety, and then you'll figure out what you really, really enjoy. Not everybody can be the video game reseller. It's very difficult because there's so much competition. Yeah, it's fun, they sell quickly, but it's also really, really competitive. I also wouldn't just sell, tchotchkes, glassware. It's easy to find. There's plenty of it at garage sales and thrift stores, but it also breaks, especially early on when you're not packing accurately or professionally. It also sits around and is very difficult to store. You can put 50 t-shirts in a bin, but you can't put 50 glass tchotchkes in a bin, or you shouldn't, because they'll just break, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would suggest starting to sell, not where to get it from, but what to start selling, is probably clothes. Books, media. It doesn't sell for a lot, but you can get it almost at any and every garage sale, and it's easy to ship. Media, movies, Blu-rays. I'm not going to suggest selling VHS. There's no such thing as the Black Diamond rarity. Don't go that route. But I'm just talking CDs, vinyl, records, if you gotta call it that, DVDs, Blu-rays, box sets, TV shows, because you can usually get them fairly cheap because the person that's selling them doesn't see value in them and they want to get rid of them cheap. Clothing, unfortunately, it's easy. You can't break it. It's easy to store. It's easy to figure out how to ship it cost effectively, but be picky. Be picky on condition. Be picky on the subject matter. Be picky on the theme of the shirt, which I guess would be subject matter.
Test all zippers and buttons. We learned that the hard way.
Yep.
Multiple times.
Make sure all the buttons are there.
Mm-hmm.
Dress shirts, button down, button up. Does have buttons, doesn't have buttons. Shoes. That's fairly easy to do. If you're going to get into the high-end sneakers and designer stuff, there's a lot of fakes. Just beware. Don't go out and buy what you think is a $200 pair of shoes for $100 and you think you got a good deal and it turns out to be fake. Be very cautious in the beginning. Other things that we did.
We looked around the house. I mean, we're doing it again this year too, seeing what we can purge.
We sold
But-
early on. We sold a lot of board games, a lot of toys, a lot of older stuff that just sat around the house. But yeah, it's early on. You just want to make it easier on yourself and then harder. Like we talked in the first episode, don't go right after the heavy, expensive soundbar or mixer. Do easier stuff. I personally would suggest clothing, books, media, shoes. Make sure those are my 4. Get really comfortable with those before I start branching out. Next would be toys, video games, and then you can get into where you want to go from there. I also wouldn't just sell one particular thing. Wouldn't niche down to one thing. I'd be, what do they say, a master of none, not one. Nope. I don't know what that's saying.
I
So
mean, we
I'm
have
not gonna go
everything
with
in
it.
our store. You can look and it's everything. All kinds of categories. And when we talk about top sellers since we started, it's everywhere. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I always get people asking what I sell, and I always tell them I've sold everything from, a video game system to a bidet. Literally everything in between. As long as I can make profit, I'll probably sell it.
But we did start small with things we knew and then just slowly branched out. Sometimes you don't want to be on your phone looking up comps when you're at garage sales or even in thrift stores, depending on like the people around you or the people who sell it is. So sometimes you just stick with what you know and then you just slowly branch out when you feel more comfortable with it.
For sure. So yeah, it's kind of short and quick today. We are in a different location from our normal spot.
Temporarily.
It is 0 degrees outside. Our garage is very chilly, even with our heaters going on. It is currently snowing, if you can kind of see it behind me. I think it's snowing / cold across most of the country.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was just kind of probably the shortest of the 5 points is what to sell, because each person's going to have a different opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says BOLO, be on the lookout. If we all be on the lookout, we're all going to find it. There are rare things, and there are just lucky things. But yeah, for next week, I think our number 3 video is going to be sourcing, where we started off sourcing, where we wish we would have started off sourcing, and then where we currently source. So yeah, that's kind of it for today. Like I said, nice and short, quick, and give us a comment if you have a different opinion about what to start selling when you first start selling.
Yeah, we would love people's opinions.
Yeah. So thank you for watching, and have a great, try to stay warm week.
Thanks. See you guys next week.